Today we're talking about one of the secret keys to American English pronunciation, and that is how to breathe sounds out like a native speaker. In addition, we will be talking specifically about a hack for the voiceless stop consonants t, p, and k. And we'll see how all of this affects linking, not just between words, but also going from sound to sound inside of words. Hi, I'm Josh, your American English guide, and this is English Hacks Pronunciation, where I help you to sound like a native if you want, and to understand natural American speech better. So what do I mean when I talk about breathing sounds out like a native? Well, different languages and even different dialects in a language will use breath in a different way. American English in particular has a certain flow of air or breath as you're speaking, and if your language does not have that particular flow of breath, like for example, if you tend to keep things back here and you're not really breathing the sounds out more, letting them flow out, then you're going to sound a little unnatural, or maybe you just sound kind of like a robot. We want to be like Goldilocks, right? The story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We want to find just the right breath that will allow you to speak English more easily, to link more easily, and to be better understood. And the very first tip that I'm going to give you for this is the same for pretty much everything in pronunciation or language learning in general, which is to pay attention. Okay, pay attention to this specific quality, the specific detail of the breath when you're listening to native speakers of American English. And compare that to the way that you try to speak English. Not the sounds necessarily, but just that airflow. Now, this is easiest to understand and start practicing with the voiceless stop consonants. And that's why we're going to be talking about the hack for those three sounds: t, p, and k. Now, of course, this does not apply to the stopped version. So if I say what and I stop that T, obviously you're not actually pushing the T out, you're cutting the air off. And so that would be the opposite, where you do want to actually cut the air off and not let it come out. But for a regular t, p, or k, notice how I'm doing that. T, t, p, p. We're going to focus mostly on the strong versions. Remember, there's the strong version and the weak version. The weak versions, they do have a bit of air, but it's very small. We don't really want to hear the air very much. The trick is you want to pay attention to your breath. So if you're doing but, and there's like no air, you're not breathing the sound out, you're not pushing the sound out with breath, again, for the strong one, and also a little for the weak one. If you're not doing that at all, you're not using any breath, it's a problem. Focus on breathing. And again, we're going to focus on the strong versions because that's also the easiest here. You can adjust it for the weak versions. But you want to take that breath, close your lips, let the air build up a little bit, right, for the P sound. Okay, again, don't push it out too much. Don't go. Okay, we don't want that, that's too much. Just keep it controlled. Okay, power, power, pick, pick. Okay, don't care too much about the other sounds, just focus on the breath here. Pass, pass. Not bass, bass, not pass. You want to feel that breath coming all the way through the sound. Okay, that's why with the stop sounds, whether it's the P, the T, or the K in the back, there's going to be a little bit of pressure build up before you release it. Time, time. Okay, not dime, dime, or time. Okay, it's too strong. Time, time. So you get a nice, good, clear release, Remember, with the T, don't make it too flat because then you'll get dime, dime. So even if you have a good breath, it's not going to sound right. It's going to sound flat, and you don't want to do that. Okay, it needs to be crisp. Time, take, take. Now for the K, same thing, but now you're going to be closing at the back of the tongue, and that actually might be the easiest one to practice with. If we say kiss, okay? You can bring the back of the tongue up, it stops the air, and then you push it out. Kiss, kiss, can, keep, keep. For the voiced stop consonants d, b, and g, this is also happening, but we don't hear the breath because of the voice. And so it's better to start with the voiceless ones to try to get this airflow. And then you can adjust that into the voiced ones by making it the same amount. So if you say time, dime, time, dime, not dime, 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 or dime. Okay, it's too much, too little. Dime, dime. You feel a little air build up and then you breathe through the sound. So it's not just going into the position, either releasing it or, whatever the sound is. It's not just about hitting that position. It's also about how your breath is continuing to flow from sound to sound to sound. So if I say, for example, pass, it's not just that P, it's also the A and the S. Pass. Okay, you don't want to be back here like Baz, Baz. There's just not enough airflow. It's harder to hear you. It's not quite clear. Okay, the sounds themselves might be good. And if you do too much, pass. Okay, obviously that's too much. But now this also applies to the whole language, and it also affects linking. Okay, so this is super, super important for everything. Let's say, for example, we take the sentence, I want to go to the beach, right? I've talked about that sentence a number of times here. So, and we'll look at another example also. But if we say, I want to go to the beach, and remember, we're not focused too much on the sounds here. We're not even focused too much on the stress here, although that's important. Listen to the flow of air, whether it's voiced or voiceless, okay? Listen to the flow of the sound. I'm not saying like, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. When you're learning a language, it's very easy to focus on the words. And in your brain, even if you get good at talking, you might cut those words apart, separate them. I have quite a few advanced students that I've worked with that's one of their biggest problems. Sometimes it's very small and subtle, but if I listen closely, I notice that they don't tend to link. They don't keep that air flowing, right? Because they were so focused on getting the words and putting them in the right order. That's vocabulary and grammar, but there's a flow, okay? I wanna go to the beach, okay? I wanna go to the beach. Not, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. Or, I wanna go to the beach. I wanna go to the beach. Okay, it's too much breath. You're pushing out too much. Let's look at a different sentence. Pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. Now let's look at the linking here. So we do have, say like a P there, right? Pick, pick. Okay, so we don't want to say pick, pick, pick. No, pick, pick it, pick it, pick it. Now that K, right? I have lessons on all these sounds, so you can go watch those. But that K, when it links, pick it, it's a weak K. So you still want to be breathing through, but you don't want to say pick it, okay? It's a weak K. Not no breath, where it's pick it, pick it, pick it. Okay, that's no breath. You're just trying to make the sound without breathing through. You're not pushing through the sound. Pick it. We're gonna say pick it up, pick it up. So this becomes a flap D. The T will turn to a flap D and connect over to and up, okay? Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, right? It's like one big, nice flow. We're breathing through that. Now if I say right now, so there we can stop that T, right now, right now, right now. Okay, so that is where one of the few cases where you do want to stop that flow. And we can actually drop the T here if we're speaking a little more lazily or whatever. We can say right now, okay? Not if you're emphasizing, not if you're speaking more slowly, but that's possible. And that helps us to keep that flow, keep that breath going, right? Right now, right now, right now. Pick it up right. Pick it up right. The P and the R can link into a cluster, the PR cluster, like problem, right? Pick it up right now. Or you can stop the P, pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. Depends on how you're speaking. Now notice that P and that R, I'm not saying pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. Okay, that's too much air for that particular P. If I say problem, that P is a little stronger because it's at the start of a stressed syllable. But just like when the K connects over, it stays weak. If the P connects over, in this case to R, it's also going to stay weak. Okay, so there's still some breath. It's not pick it up right, pick it up right, pick it up right. No, pick it up right now. Do you hear that breath coming through a little bit? Pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. That's like no breath. Pick it up right now. Pick it up right now. So you need to vary it depending on what's linking, how it's linking. Now for one final thing here, let's take a look at something that is a little more subtle, but that also might help you kind of get what's going on if you're still a little confused. Let's look at the S sound. We'll also look at the F sound. The S is just air, it's just breath. You have your tongue in a certain position that creates sort of a whistle type sound. Okay. Let's say that I try to, obviously I have to use some air to create the sound, but let's say that I try to not use a lot of breath. I try to use as little breath as possible. Okay. So. Notice it's also kind of giving me a bit of a weird, it's not so, it's so, it's like the O is kind of, it has trouble getting out because I'm not pushing the sound out. Okay, so. I'm kind of just using like a little puff without actually breathing through the S. Where if I do normally, right, so, the sounds need to flow out with the breath. Not okay, so. And I'm not talking about the length of the sound. That's going to depend on the speed. If I'm speaking really slowly, I might say so, right? Or if I'm speaking really quickly, I'll say so. That's the length, okay? Now let's say with the F, if we do sort of a restricted F where I'm not trying to breathe through the sound, I'm just trying to make the sound physically. Like I'm literally just kind of going into it, trying to push out a little bit of air that I'm not even letting the air flow. I'm just kind of trying to like do a little burst and then it's gone because I'm not letting the air continue to come out. I can't hold it. It's impossible, right? But if I breathe through the F, fix, not fix. See, you can't even really hear the sound as well because there's no breath, okay? We need the breath to hear the words. So fix. So breathe through the sounds, breathe through your words, breathe as you're going between words, okay? Breathe between words. From the basic sound itself, linking to another sound in the same word, and then linking to another sound at the start of the next word. It's all one big breath. Breathe through your English. And you want to control that airflow, because if you just let it all go out and I say, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach, right? I'm just letting the air fall out, okay? I'm just letting it go, just escape, okay? You don't want to do that. You want to control it. Now, if I don't use any breath, if I don't take a breath and I say, I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. The sounds are generally pretty good, but it's kind of harder to hear because I'm not breathing through. I'm just kind of using mostly my mouth. So we want in between there. I want to go to the beach. So you should feel a bit of force coming so that there is air, not I want to go to the beach, right? But you also should feel on the other side a little bit of restriction, a little bit of trying to let the air not just fall out, like, I want to go to the beach. You want to be in between. You want to direct that airflow where you're breathing through the sounds and the words, but control it. Do you want to go to the beach? The other day I went to the beach, and it was a really interesting experience because I had never been to the beach before. Like you're singing. Let's say your language is spoken more like this, and it's kind of more in the throat. But then if you sing, and you're singing, and the sounds are flowing, and they're longer, and they're moving, and sounds into sounds into sounds, and maybe your language just doesn't quite work that way with singing, but think of it as singing, because probably in all languages, when we sing, we tend to use a little more breath, right? We tend to pull things out a little bit more and connect them more, and they flow into each other to keep that musical rhythm flowing. Thank you so much for watching another English Hacks lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next one.